welcome to the Hard Lock Podcast Show, where we dive deep, let stories flow. Interviews, insights, news of the week. Hot topics, every word's unique. Tune in, lock in, get the full scope. Stories that inspire us and provoke. It's Hard Lock, where the truth gets told. So sit back, let's break the mold.
Hi everyone, how are you guys doing? My name is Joshua Vocals, and most of you know me on TikTok for doing voiceover stuff. And for those of you who have been watching my videos recently or who followed me recently, you know this is not my type of content that I make. But I have a few things that I need to talk about, especially clear some issues, make them a little bit straight. My name has been mentioned somewhere, and that indirectly or directly by an artist called Dr. Dayan, and this guy is in Arua district. For those who are all over Africa, Arua district is in northern Uganda or Westnile, and it's a small city, very beautiful, and that's where I've been working professionally as a radio guy for so many years. That's where first of all I got the voiceover stuff. But for those who are watching via my YouTube, which is a Hard Lock Podcast, this is not new to you. You know this is some of the content I make as well. So I'm basically going to react to this guy's videos. Recently he made two videos. One video got 9,000 views, 9k views, where he titled it "James Kennedy Stop Misusing Arua One FM." Arua One FM is a radio station that I worked at for so many years, almost about 6-7 years. Before I moved out to independent work right now. So I literally worked with the radio station about just 3-4 months ago. Actually 3 months ago by the time of recording this video, about 2.5 or 3 months ago. And so Arua One misusing, and my job there was a music scheduler, music programmer, and also traffic controller, also managing advertisement as well. And so when you say something about Arua One music, that has me a little bit always speaking. And the thing is, because I don't work right now with Arua One FM or Vision Group or that radio station, that entity, I represent in no way opinions for them. These are my personal opinions from what I've seen. And so I'm going to just share my opinion on this video. So Dr. Dayan again is an artist from a music recording artist from Arua. And on his TikTok, he says Westnile music artist and blockbuster hit film, hit maker and fashion killer since 2009. Killer supposed to be with ER, by the way. So I don't want to look at his old video that had 9.0k views or 9,000 views. I'm going to focus more on the most recent video that he posted. By the time of recording this video, he has 2.5k views on that video. And I'm just going to play back that video and react on it, basically, because, of course, as you know, there's some things here that really beat my understanding. The claims he made in this video, they really blew my mind. But without wasting any of your time, let's get straight into playing the video of Dr. Dayan. And this one, he titled it "The Artists You Call Farmers Are Better Than You, J.M. Kennedy." I have no affiliation whatsoever with J.M. Kennedy at the moment. I've not spoken to J.M. Kennedy probably in 3-4 months. That artist also, J.M. Kennedy is the biggest artist, actually legendary. He's for almost 20 years has been singing, and it's still relevant to this day, even to the younger audience and to the older audience as well. So this is going to be very interesting for me. So I've not spoken to James Kennedy at the moment of making this video, and I'm just making claims of what I've seen, and also from the perspective, because James Kennedy worked also at this radio station where I work right now. So let's just listen to this video and then keep reacting to it. Okay, all right.
Music head office, Ochima Coast. This is where we are based. This is a home. Thank God we're trying to set up something beautiful anyway. To start with, why I'm here today, guys, it's about James Kennedy, and it's also about some of you guys who have been disagreeing with me about James Kennedy, about the post I made last week about Kennedy. To start with you guys, I want to make it very clear. It's not that James Kennedy personally, I don't have any issues with him. No.
Well, look like
Kennedy is a brother. I come with him from Terego. Our intelligence is like a brother to me. So I have, in my heart, no, 100%, I have nothing but against GM Kennedy.
So I can ask you guys to go watch that video if you have the time, but I can promise you in that video it really did look like this gentleman had issues with James Kennedy, but I'll leave that to you. You can go and watch it on your own. All right, okay.
But however, just with Kennedy, I have issues that are musical. Injustices that they are doing against the Lugbara artists. The Lugbara artists like PIG, like Dayan, like Boris Spoken, like Prince Henry, like Raspi, like LMB Rags. Guys, these are talents. These are Lugbara talents. I expected you guys to be serious when I raised this issue of Arua One, not playing music of Lugbara boys. Especially people, the Kennedys feel or fear that they are superstars. Look at the likes of LMB Rags. Look at PIG. Look at Boris Spoken. These were super rappers. Super talented rappers we had here in Lugbara land. Where are they today?
Okay.
Where are these guys? Ask yourself.
Exactly. So I want to react quickly on that part there before I move any forward. So he has mentioned these where. So he has bombed a few names there. He has mentioned PIG. He has mentioned Boris Spoken. He has mentioned Raspi. He has mentioned LMB Rags. And so these guys, for those who know, these are legends. These are guys from before that we knew. Okay? So these guys sang probably maybe 15 years ago or 20 years ago. That's when they started singing. But most of them are 15 and others maybe 10. I'll tell you where they went. Mr. Dayan, I'll tell you where these guys went. LMB Rags was ill-advised, went into drugs, serious drugs. You all know this story. His crew was sitting at Arua Hill, that side before the construction of the stadium. It was called Arufu. You know where he was with his crew. Those were really, really drug addict guys. LMB Rags currently, from what I hear, is not doing well health-wise from his consistent consumption of drugs, harmful drugs. And he was kind of tried, I think he was offered help by some people. That's the information I had, the most recent. He was living with a friend of mine. So LMB Rags blew his career quickly because of drugs. Okay, he's still good artist right now. He's maybe relevant, but things are changing. All right. PIG, same story. PIG was relevant when Raga Python was out. The moment Raga Python went to jail, PIG died in the music scene. This is so many years ago, without even James Kennedy being on radio right now. So PIG's story happened so many years ago. His music career died the moment Raga Python entered prison. And what happened? He also started getting to drugs. All right. And these are what I only see from my own observations. I'm not saying these guys actually are drugs and drug addicts, but this is what I personally saw. Okay, so I can tell you guys, honestly speaking, PIG has currently a TikTok channel. Maybe you guys can go and look at these videos. When you look at the videos of PIG, you might most times think PIG is under huge influence of drugs when he's making some of these videos. So I don't know PIG's story, but it's just a matter of time, guys. Things are evolving. Okay, we call these artists legend, but it's not a must for us to keep playing their music. Okay, you mentioned Boris Spoken. Boris Spoken involved himself in a lot of issues recently. All these guys are my personal guys. I shouldn't bring their dirty issues to the public. I mean, but these are things I need to say. Okay, Boris Spoken story. We all know what happened. Boris Spoken also the same things. Some of the members of Arufu Records and stuff like that. He also got into drugs. Okay, he was married to not married per se, really officially, but he was he has a child actually with a very big, formerly big person in media, and also worked with Arua district, now Arua city. This person worked, and this was the spouse. What happened? Claims of domestic violence came through. These are true or not true, I'm not sure about them. But those are the claims that came out, that maybe there was a lot of violence involved and then they separated, all right? So, Gbara Spoken's case, 100%, we all know he went quiet on his own way. Music was playing at some point at Arua One FM. Just so you know, Mr. Dayan, there's a music scheduler who focused a lot on playing Platform 503 music, okay? And Gbara Spoken's group was called Platform 503. And so there was a lot of focus on playing their music. But eventually, you have to play what is actually trending, what is actually new, because people, the listener's mind is always evolving. They want to hear something new. They want to hear that there's a new song here, there's a new jam there for themselves. You get what I'm saying? So Gbara Spoken's case is the same, most likely. Drugs and stuff. We all know this is public information. It is his influence that made him not to connect with media houses. An artist releases a song and expects you to get that song, and is a local artist. Guys, I'm not going to put a lot of effort if you can't put your effort as well. So Gbara Spoken's story is obvious. What happened to Raspi? Raspi is obvious. Raspi is a legend. His music is played at Arua One by the time I was there consistently. And the only thing Raspi faced was when he, just like Weasel, he lost his partner in music. The guy died, one man passed on. And so it became a little bit difficult for Raspi to sing along, I think. He, of course, had a lot of new other songs after the passing of One Man, but the songs were not really as much as he did with One Man alive. So he also got into his own issues, personal issues that he's been fighting with, marital issues and stuff like that. And so, yeah, it's been difficult for all of these guys. It has nothing, guys. Listen, Dr. Dayan, JM Kennedy has no affiliation whatsoever to the music at Arua One. He has zero. Like, the songs, JM Kennedy works in the morning on Arua One at the radio station. He has like zero influence in even what he himself plays. Arua One FM is a very organized media house and a vision group, to a point that everyone does their job and you are supposed to respect other people's jobs. I can promise you, the entire time I scheduled music for Arua One for about 2 years, I think, or 1.5 years, JM Kennedy not at any single point had an influence in what plays, how it plays. But what you should know is JM Kennedy was releasing hit. Dr. Dayan, you have not released the hit in a very, very long time. I personally gave you an opportunity to market your song, Amboka, Arua Mboka. I gave you an opportunity to market that song. For those who don't know this song, you can look it up on Google. Just search Dr. Dayan, Arua Mboka. The song is there. I gave you an opportunity to market it because it was really good music. But I kept telling you guys that there's no way we're going to play music that is not good. It doesn't matter who you are. I'll play young artist music and leave yours, you who is a legend, just because the music quality was not good. So again, JM Kennedy has no affiliation whatsoever on what even he himself plays on radio. But we'll get into that. Let's listen to the video.
Hey, you guys, where are these guys? Ask yourself. You can blame Dayan. You can blame me that maybe I'm defeated musically. But guys, I had already made hits. I made a number of hits. I made the Boys Quarter. I made the Kali Kali. I made the Mamvi. I made the Ofuma Mvate. I made the Love Walele. I made the Nyaku de Round Tero. And these are songs that are hits. And that's what Kennedy fears.
No. Kennedy doesn't fear. Look, Dr. Dayan. You released these songs many years ago. Indeed. So many years ago, these songs played. All right? No doubt. These songs played. But they played many times ago. So if you want me to still play a song that is 20 years old on constant rotation, or 15 years old on rotation, how about Monopoly Bad Character? Where am I playing Monopoly Bad Character's music? Where am I playing Tune Sharpener's songs? Where am I playing V-Click songs? Where am I playing this new artist song? If your song of 15 years old played then as a big hit, it is not a hit as we think now, current hit now. It is still a hit, but not a current music. And the world is evolving. We're not going backwards, we're going forward. That's what I can only tell you, okay? And those songs were then. And like I was saying earlier, you have not released a hit in a very, 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 very long time. And JM Kennedy, what has he been doing? Wife Material, hit. So many other songs, hit. The whole of Arua, JM Kennedy had in Chalk Lock, I think, for like 2-3 years with only one song. And it played in the clubs, it played on radio, it played every single place. Wife Material. What did you release in that period of time? You need to ask yourself that question.
Look at the level where those of PIG, those of LNB Rugs, those of Gbara Spoken, those of Prince Henry, those of Dr. Philippatos, those of Raspi, and others. Look at the Young Lemons. are these guys? Ask yourself. These are super talented guys. These are not quack artists.
For Young Lemon, his story is obvious. We also know he also had his personal issues, marital issues, with his baby mama. I think I'm not sure, but I think they had a kid with a lady. I won't mention the name here. But the rumors is Young Lemon willingly moved back to the village to stay in his village because of marital issues that he was dealing with at the moment. So again, when he went off, it's been hard for him to come back. This again has nothing to do with Arua One FM. This has nothing to do with James Kennedy. This has everything to do with these artists in their personality. Maybe they fear competitions. Maybe, I don't know, right? But yeah. So you have your listen, Dayan, you have your answers, okay? You have your answers already. I'm giving you answers for each of these artists you're mentioning. So far, so good. It is their personal fights and struggles that have made them go off the grid. It has nothing to do with the radio station not playing their song. Anyway, let's continue.
That is what Kennedy fears, and that is the reason he's been destroying. And these guys are blocking good music for you. Those of you who are blaming me that Dayan is defeated musically, Dayan is doing this and that because he's already a faded artist. You guys never write a living human being off your life. I'm a Westnile champion. I'm a Lugbara ambassador. The Madis know Dayan. They know my music. The Alurus know my music. The Kakwes know my music. I'm an ambassador. And these other artists, the Kennedys are destroying ambassadors. These are talented, super talented guys. Why should Kennedy be, the only artist all the time that is the only artist? It's very wrong. It's a wrong thing.
You see, Dr. Dayan, I don't know why you say you're an ambassador. In comparison, you might be an ambassador, but let's have this in context to being a legend, in context to James Kennedy being in the same category. Look, Dr. Dayan, I hate to break this to you, but you are not in any close range to being range with James Kennedy. I'm very sorry to break this to you. I hate to be the one to break it to you, but you're not in any close range with James Kennedy in terms of talent, in terms of in terms of music quality, in terms of James Kennedy's. I don't know how even best to say this, but all I can tell you is this: if you asked any person around the world and say which Ugandan artist do you know has existed, the first person they're going to mention is maybe Jose Chameleone, and the rest come after that. This is the same for Westnile. If you come to Kampala, if you go to any part of Uganda, the first artist, when you say which artist do you know from Arua or Westnile, most likely they're going to mention for you James Kennedy, number one, because one, he's a legend, but two, he's still releasing hit music. You get the point? He's still releasing hit music, and he is all these years has been working for over 20 years, and his music still trends. That's the problem. You get it? I don't know if it's a problem, but in terms, you can't compare in any way. Please, Dayan, don't put your same sentence of your name and James Kennedy in the same sentence. It's one abusive. It's an insult to James Kennedy's legacy. It's an insult to Western music. It's so I really, really would suggest that you don't put. Anyway, let's go on.
Kennedy. I recently. You made a podcast in which you're telling guys are defeated musical. Kennedy did so. It's so sinful for you to be saying that guys are defeated musical. These guys I've mentioned, these are guys who have beaten you musically, Kennedy. I personally asked Dayan, when I made Log Walele, did you make any hit song? When I made the Kali Kali, did you make any hit song? When I made the Boy Squatter, even you copied, you remixed my Boy Squatter. That song you did, Corner Dance. You hid that song in Ambrose's studio in Moyo, Liberty Studio, for 1 full year. Because you remixed my Boy Squatter music. And in 2025, you're saying we are defeated musically, that we are now farmers.
Okay. Being a farmer is a good thing. I'm a farmer myself. I own a few cows, goats, and farmlands. It's a good thing. You should have it as well. So, Dr. Dayan, you've mentioned here, this is just very interesting for me. You've mentioned that your songs, first of all, before we move there, guys, I need to tell you something. Dr. Dayan has a song called Kali Kali, which he mentioned here. And I can tell you on Arua One FM, this song actually plays every single week, okay, on high rotation. Apart from it playing on normal rotation, this song is used by a comedy show over the weekends. I think on Sundays, that show on Top 20 Countdown, there's a comedy show segment on that countdown. I can promise you guys, this guy's song is used as an intro, okay? It is used as an intro for that comedy show. So literally, that song plays every single time. Every single week, that song is used. And he's claiming his songs are not being played. Every single week. Listen to it on Sundays. I think from 1 p.m. And then the show is like around 3 p.m. I think there. Listen to it. The song plays every single day.
Let me tell you, Kennedy. I'm telling you, you can use these radios for giving misinformation. You can misinform the society. But we are going to go to Vision. Vision Group that manages Arua One, that owns Arua One. We are going to raise our issues to them. Because I don't know how you guys are really being there. You guys are artists. The most of these radio presenters on Arua One are artists. And you guys, you're not playing songs of other musicians. That's where you guys think that's how you've been surviving. You are all the time destroying boys.
So, Dr. Dayan, this is so childish of you and very uninformed. Again, you are my brother. I would have called you over this, but since you decided to put this out, I'm going to also clean my closet with you outside. This is very childish of you. Maybe you should grow up and do more research. Arua One FM has on air about 10 people on air, and those are presenters. And the only presenter that is a musician on that radio, the only two, I think, main singers. It's only Man Pato. No, it's actually Lady Abiria, who is not even very active these days, and then James Kennedy, who is really active. If you call Kim Naz, who sang Kalamto something song, an artist, I'm very sorry for you. If you call Man Pato, who sang Molokonyi, Man Pato Molokonyi, a musician, I'm very sorry for you, okay? There's no other artist, there's no other person there who is a musician on that list of presenters. So out of like 10, 15 presenters, you're only identifying one or two artists people and saying most of the people on air at Arua One FM are musicians. This is very uninformed, this is very sad, and this is immature for you. So you need to do your research more and have these claims done. So this is wrong. Big man, this is very, 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 very wrong. Anyway, let's continue listening to the video.
And the other day you were saying that assume the other number that Anziki defeated on Anzikira, Anziviki, or regular village here. Anzikira village here. But at least people have villages. But for you, let me not talk about it. About you're my brother. I don't want to talk that. But musically, they're saying that guys are defeated. Kennedy, you Kennedy. And
again, you're personally attacking James Kennedy. I don't know why. Maybe you should sort out your personal issues. James Kennedy, you're all from the same tribe. Maybe find some time, call the elders, sit and handle your issues out. But I want to insist once again, Arua One FM and New Vision is a very programmed system. The current playing music of Arua One system right now, as of the time of recording this video, I created it myself from scratch with the help of someone very, 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 very knowledgeable, someone big in, when it comes to issues of radio, and it's called I want to mention his name, but at the time of recording this video, he works with Vision Group, and he's in charge of radios and TVs and stuff like that. He's extremely knowledgeable, okay? And so I created this from scratch, the playlist by his guidance, what is playing on Arua One every single Monday to Friday, morning to night. I created it with my hands, sent it to him for approval. If there was any editing to be done on this thing, even if just moving one song category to someone else, you have to seek permission on email. You have to write an email for it to be approved. So this is not your small funny radios that are in Arua or Westnile that are just going to play random stuff. Absolutely not. This radio station has a proper system of working that you yourself, even as a presenter, you are not obligated whatsoever to play something that is not been given to you. And the people who do the programming of the music are knowledgeable. My friend Guy, I'm very knowledgeable in music, even better than you, Dr. Dayan. Most like you're a singer. I'm a consumer, and I'm the one who gives to the public. Raga Python made a very interesting comment before I left Arua One FM. He mentioned and said that he was actually appreciating Arua One FM music. And you know, Raga Python doesn't care about some of these things, and mostly he's blasting people. For Raga Python to come and say, guys, man, he's not a professional. I'm not saying that listen to Raga Python is a professional. I'm only saying that for a fact that he's able to appreciate music on a certain radio station, you know you've done a very good job. So, Dr. Dayan, for that I don't know how to explain that to you. All right, let's move on.
But me see unji dia de me aji da back in na gosi. Ojo dia de ki ba ki ko ku le chawale. Asi unji me aji me la mu ba city ba. Enyo me tell zinga muke, are you okay?
Again, personal attacks. Just this
calling
is not
all
good.
These super talented guys. These guys are better than you, baby. Let me tell you, Kenny. Some of these guys are better than you. These guys you have blocked on Arua One just because you know very well these guys are better than you, and you built your roots. You also extended your roots, your bad roots, to these other media houses around. And you look today, you see how the Lugbara music is going down and the Mali music is going up, Alur music is going up. It is because of you, Kennedy. You and your cliques on Arua One. You guys are responsible for destroying Lugbara music. You destroyed the talented guys who would have been adding flavors in this industry. But in Mali, they say, Ukuego Rubakondratia. In Lugbara, that is translated as Ukukwagu Pirubernatia. In English, it is translated as the male tortoise you always sit in the fire. But Kennedy, we're all men. Musically, we're all champions. You know that. You know that. Musically, we're all champions, man. Unfortunately, you reasoning like somebody. You went to school. I was told you went to school. Me, I don't know whether you reached university level. I don't know. But I understand you went to school. But I thought you should be reasoning well, man. As you
I want to continue playing this music, this video. I think now he's getting to more personal attacks, which I won't give my platform for that. But I'll say this. I'll say something about James Kennedy for you guys who don't understand this guy. Let me put this thing off now, away. Guys, let me say something about James Kennedy. James Kennedy has... I also don't know how he does it. I always ask him why and how he does what he does. And if you're able to reach the level of James Kennedy, his understanding of music, spirituality, and everything. We did a podcast with him recently, and you guys saw when he said he was an Illuminati or stuff like that. That was not true. He just said he was illuminated. We clickbaited you guys maybe, and sorry for that. But guys, there's something about James Kennedy that even us who work with him never understood, and something he only understands. James Kennedy's music is moving to every single bar and radio station, not because he's marketing it. I promise you. Let me give an example of Wife Material that was released, I think, 2024. Last year or 2023, I can't remember. Late 2023 or early 2024 or in 2024. James Kennedy has understood spirituality to a level that we all wish we do. If you want to believe this, you don't want to believe this, I always tell people this. I was speaking to a radio legend recently about James Kennedy. And I told the guy, I don't care whether you want to believe this or you don't want to believe this. I really don't give a damn. But I'll tell you something about James Kennedy. James Kennedy has understood music. James Kennedy has understood what we call spirituality to a point that we human beings, most of us are yet to reach there. James Kennedy does not have YouTube channel popular to put his music. Nope. He has a YouTube channel that's not active. James Kennedy at best has a Facebook page. Maybe Jim Kennedy has WhatsApp. Maybe you look for him 34 days, you don't find him. Jim Kennedy has not TikTok. If he has TikTok, maybe he's not putting content. So Jim Kennedy is not even digitally informed. He's not even digitally aware. His presence is low. But then you ask yourself, why is he trending? Yes, exactly the question. Apart from him understanding good music, Jim Kennedy has understood the process of spirituality. Jim Kennedy has no dirty, I would say this according to what I saw, because I worked with Jim Kennedy for almost 2.5 years, actually 2.5 years until I left. Okay? Jim Kennedy, I promise you, every time after Jim Kennedy's show on the morning, and I don't know whether he wants me to put this information out there, but I'll just say to protect his name, maybe for himself. Every time after Jim Kennedy releases he gets out of his radio program because he enters at 6 a.m. and comes out at 10 a.m. in the morning, the morning breakfast show. Kennedy will come out of the studio and goes behind the studios, the building. There's a tent at Arua One. Most of you who have been to Arua One, you know this. There's a red tent. That red tent, it's not. Don't have funny conspiracy theories. Arua One FM just decided to buy a red tent. I don't know why. We all don't like it who are working there. So we didn't love it so much. If you went, Jim Kennedy goes behind that tent every single day. And for about an hour or so, he sits there listening to inspirational words, listening to music, sitting alone. Nobody talks to him. With his earphones in, he sits and gives it time to meditate. Guys, you want to believe this or you don't want to believe this, I don't care, but I'll tell you this. There's something that we do not understand in our own body. It's called our vibration. It's called our energy as human beings, something we have not tapped in. I think Jim Kennedy is tapping that energy. And I always tell him, I wish I am able to tap that energy. Jim Kennedy's shows. Jim Kennedy has been the most booked artist for the whole of 2024. He was booked every single time. In December alone, out of 30 days, Jim Kennedy, I think, had like out of 4 weekends, because normal shows are happening over the weekends. Out of four weekends, I think Jim Kennedy from 2024 last year, December, he told me I think he had like 18 shows or even more in 4 weeks. So that is super crazy. How he does that is by being relevant. The other thing is, which is my final thing I'll say on Jim Kennedy. I've worked with so many media houses. I worked in Mbarara at radio station called Cruise FM. I've worked in Arua One FM. Okay, I've worked in radio parties on a very voluntary basis so many years ago. 2013, 2016, I was at radio parties. I've done a few things with Nile FM and stuff like that when I was really young. Okay, I started radio at a very young age. What I'll tell you this about Jim Kennedy and music in general. The radio business is a big deal. Still in the African society. In Arua, especially which is a rural area, music is still highly determined by the radio stations. Relevance is by the radio stations. The presenters of radio stations are bigger than most artists, no doubt. Jim Kennedy going back to Arua One FM, I'll tell you this is the secret. Jim Kennedy going back to Arua One FM elevated Jim Kennedy's musical career. Why? Because one, he was always being listened to by people who love his music. He was always talking to them. Dr. Dayan, you have not talked to your fans maybe in so many years. People only hear you musical and in interviews. But every single morning, Monday to Friday, Jim Kennedy is on radio and he's speaking to maybe 1 million people every single day. So you can't compare yourself who is not on radio, who releases maybe one song after every 6-7 months or 1 year, to Jim Kennedy who is on radio every single. Even if he releases one song, his presence on media alone is very important on that radio station. Okay? And he was purely brought there by merit, not because he had any connection whatsoever. I know the radio manager there. She's amazing. She knows what to do. So that is what I would say about Jim Kennedy, because I've seen this work. When I was working at Cruise FM, there was a DJ who was on radio. When we removed him out of radio for 1 or 2 issues, the guy's career almost died. He was not getting bookings and stuff like that. The moment I left Cruise FM, I had him. I saw he was put back on radio. Okay, he was playing again. And the guy's name was in every single bar and club playing, DJ playing. Okay? So those are things you knew, you don't understand, Dr. Dayan. The only thing I'll tell you is this. You guys are not relevant right now. Dr. Dayan, you are not relevant right now unless you do something. You still sing in the old system. Jim Kennedy has upgraded. He has understood the trend. He's working with the trends. So you guys are singing old way system. You still think that you're singing to people 10 years ago. All of you, the names you've mentioned, most of them are singing backwards. You're not singing current and forward. So maybe it's something you need to look at. Improve your art, do better branding. You guys don't do branding, and also you don't focus a lot on music. Dr. Dayan, you had a job recently. You were doing, I think, with an NGO, and for almost 2-3 years you're off media. You're not doing music and stuff like that. You're focusing on your job, and maybe. And Jim Kennedy's main source of income is that he has built a house. He drives the best car, one of the best cars. We are very few celebrities in Arua who drove a car. Me, I drove a very old car, but it was me, Jim Kennedy, Free Boy, and I don't know which other person in media. The rest are still riding motorcycles and stuff like that. The LP Shadis, the Hassan, the Big Brothers, the Kimnas are still on motorcycles. So musically, Jim Kennedy has been able to do that. He has been able to also brand himself very well. Jim Kennedy brands himself very well because he is very expensive artist, because he has to fuel his car every single time. He drives a car that has a lot of fuel consumption. So when you want Jim Kennedy to come to your show, first of all, he looks at his fuel. He has to drive. So his price, the price you're saying, you pay me 300,000 to go for a show. That is Jim Kennedy's fuel to drive to your place and come back. So you're not going to give him 300,000 because you tell the boss, you're just giving me fuel to go and come back. So you guys who have not upgraded yourselves, you need to do that. Upgrade your brand. Jim Kennedy understood that. He has positioned himself politically very well. I disagree with so many things he does politically, but man, he has positioned himself way to a point that most of the things as a leader, when they come to Westnile and looking for people, Jim Kennedy's name will be mentioned there as well. So NRM comes to Arua, they're looking for Jim Kennedy. This other one comes, they come to Jim Kennedy. So yeah, you need to be able to position yourself deliberately. Guys, listen, finally, opportunities are not going to come to you. You have to take the opportunities yourself. They're not going to come to you. You have to make your own opportunities. Create them. Nobody's going to sit there and say, I'm the biggest artist in Westnile and these things have to come to me. No, they're not going to come to you. They're not going to come to you, sir. I'm sorry to tell you, they're not going to come to you. You have to fight for them. So that said, I'm very sorry for you, Dr. Dayan. I hope you can do better than this. You're better than this. You are a very, 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 very good friend of mine. We talk a lot. But the issue I came out here to discuss this is because I need to give you a perspective as being someone who worked on radio, who worked with music directly. And so yeah, we play hits. We don't play music. We don't play artists. We play hits. Jose Chameleon's songs for the last, I don't know, since he was sick, he has not released new music, and nobody's caring about Jose Chameleon's music until he's going to release another song. Okay, so that's the only thing I can tell you guys. Let's grow up, let's become mature, and yeah, we'll have a good music piece. I'm out. Joshua out.
Welcome to the Hard Lock Podcast Show, where we dive deep, let stories flow. Interviews, insights, news of the week. Hot topics, every word's unique. Tune in, lock in, get the full scope. Stories that inspire and some provoke. It's Hard Lock, where the truth gets told. So sit back, let's break the mold.